Hello there, welcome to Beautiful Disasters. Now we're going to talk about John McTiernan's The 13th Warrior. This film was released in the late 90s and it was delayed repeatedly. I think it was meant to be released in like 98 and we ended up released in 99 after lots of reshoots and lots of behind the scenes problems with the director ended up leaving, and it was finished by Michael Crichton, who wrote the original novel and was one of the producers. It was a classic disaster. It lost a fortune. It was hated by the critics. It just came out and was slaughtered. And it's another beautiful disaster because there's lovely stuff in it, and despite some flaws that shouldn't really be there. One of the big frustrations of this is a film that was obviously hacked to hell, and there's some massive problems that could have been solved. And the kind of problems that McTiernan doesn't usually have in his films, which makes it more frustrating. The plot is you're following a Muslim played by Antonio Banderas, who's a Spaniard, as he goes to the Northlands and meets up with these Vikings who then have to go on a mission to save this land who is getting invaded by monsters who are killing the people, and no one knows what's going on. So, and the prophecy is that they need a 13th warrior, hence the title, who will go with, who's not a Viking, who will go with them, and that's how they'll defeat this creature. So he ends up going with them, and it's a story of them trying to find out what's going on. Now, the big flaw in this film is some of the reshoots, because you've got like a first third that's should be half an hour and it feels like it's about 20 minutes, and you can sense it. I mean, there's like Banderas' backstory is done in about 2 minutes when it feels it should be a bit longer, because he's exiled within the credit sequence in a very awkward set of shots that tell you there was more there and that it was just thrown away, and that kind of makes you depressed with the film if they're doing that in the opening sequence and they're doing it and they're shooting like a TV show. So obviously that was cut, and during the first section as they meet with the Vikings and they travel to the land and they first see the problem, that feels like it's been cut down. Like it should be longer, like there was some build up that should have been there, which means that Banderas learned their language really fast. It's done in a cool way how he learns the language, by listening and paying attention and finding context the way anyone would learn a language. That's good, but it's done so fast that you feel like it's done too fast and it feels like a plot contrivance rather than something logical. And then when you get there, you feel like there's build up that isn't there, that should be there. And because if you watch a McTiernan film like Predator or Die Hard, I mean some of his other films as well, like October, he does build up really well. He really establishes the build of what the threat is, and he really takes his time and develops it, but he can make sure it's not boring, but you always feel that when something pays off, it's been set up so well that, because he's a director who does take his time. And in the films that work less, like Rollerball or Last Action Hero, it feels like the pace of the story is too quick for him, so he doesn't have a chance to establish things properly. And that's usually what gets him into trouble as a filmmaker, where the pace of the film's too quick for his style. And that's why you feel he shot all this stuff, but some of it was cut out to cut the film down to a certain length, which means by the time you get to the point where you need these things to pay off, they haven't been developed the way they should have been. So there's less of an impact when you get to those points. So that's a problem with the film. Like, it's definitely a film you could, if it wasn't such a disaster, I could do with a director's cut where you added a couple of sequences back into it. Because I just feel like it's been shredded slightly at the beginning. But what's great about it is the direction, though, is the way the world's set up. I mean, this is probably the most beautiful McTiernan film. This is a film where he really takes his time with the shots. You've all these atmospheric shots throughout it, and he's really paying homage to like Kurosawa and all these Japanese and Asian films that obviously, you see his films, he builds films in an old-fashioned, stylised way, and he seems to enjoy you seem to feel an influence of like an old-style classic action directors from like Japan and Europe, things like that. He's an old-style classicism really to him, and you really feel the affection for that kind of movie in this, and the way it's all set up. Because the idea is it's like taking the idea of Beowulf and showing an alternative thing of what could have been the reality that led to the myth of Beowulf. And this, the myth is, the thing that leads to the myth is they're actually finding these men who think they're monsters and who all fall to a warrior king and a queen, and they're almost about a pack mentality. They've given up their humanity to be like these monsters for these two creatures, and the whole plot becomes we kill these two creatures, they'll lose their drive and the threat will be over, and they have to work that out, and they have to actually do it. And it's really well done. As soon as you get into that part of the film, you feel it's much more flow to it. Like I'm sure there's bits that were cut even there, but there is a flow at that point. Like they're directing towards something, and they've got a plan. And getting there's some beautiful sequences. There's a sequence with the Wendell, the village called the Wendell, when they attack. First, it feels like they call it the fireworm. It's this long tail of flames that come down, and originally the superstitions that people think it's a thing called a fireworm, which is, in the myth, becomes the dragon. But actually, in fact, it's a cavalry coming down to attack them, and they go from like dusk till night to darkness. And you've got all these flames flying, and you've got all this flames coming through, and I'm throwing the so they've all got flames. They're throwing them at the village, and they're doing all these. And it's a beautiful sequence, just of light, sparse light versus pitch black, and these fights going on. It's a wonderful sequence. It's really well done, and it's been completely forgotten about. It's one of those sequences you think, even if you hate the film, this one sequence is worth seeing the film for, and you think it would have been brought up more since then, but no, it's just completely forgotten about. And it's wonderful. It's like it's one of the best sequences of the 90s, and it's forgotten. Then there's another sequence where they have to go into the caves where the Wendell live, and they have to find a cave in the mountains, go inside the cave, and then crawl through it to get to the queen so they can kill the queen. And it's a terrific sequence. It's just very slowly done, very carefully done. You see the tactics, and the atmosphere is wonderful. I saw this in the film in the cinema, and the atmosphere of the cinema is beautiful. It's now available on DVD, but I'm not sure it's on Blu-ray anywhere. I mean, it's not in Blu-ray in the UK anyway. But even in DVD it looks beautiful, and the atmosphere of the place. It's a terrific sequence. Again, it's another one to show film students how to do a good suspense sequence, because this film really knows how to deliver that kind of stuff. It really knows, like, A to B to C. You need this bit to show the characters, this bit to show what they're aiming for, show them doing it, have a few things go wrong so they can show how inventive they are, and they slowly get towards their goal. Really beautifully done. The final sequence is great as well, because after they kill the queen, the king comes at the village to protect him with his whole army, and there's only like 5 of them left, and you have to fight against the army and then take out the king. And the music's great, the build-up's great as they all pray to their gods, and as they wait and they expect to die basically, and they're amazed they actually survive. And it's a terrific build-up of sequences, and some of the shots as they go over like hills, and you can see the village beyond, and you see them coming towards the character who will be Beowulf as he waits to attack the king. It's just a wonderful sequence. It was wonderfully done. The music's great. One of the things that was interesting is the music's terrific, but it was replaced, the original score. It was original score with something McTiernan wanted. Michael Crichton replaced that with this other score. And that other score's terrific. It's really good. I've no idea what the original score was. If it was better, I don't know. But I know that just as a viewer watching it, the score they've got is really something. And it really helps those kind of sequences. A lot of the stuff just works wonderfully, but again you think, I wish I could seen the proper version of this film, because it just feels incomplete in lots of ways. It just feels like there's bits that have been taken out that would have helped the build, that would help suspense. Because you get lots of scenes that are good, but you feel there's more to them that would have been good to get more of. It's one of those films that is too short. It really is too short, and it has the second half a little bit because you think you'd be more invested. I was already invested, but I'd be more invested if those sequences were there that would have helped you get to that point. Because if you look at someone like Die Hard or Predator, he does the build up so well that when you get to those scenes, you're really into it. This film, you're really into it, but the build up had been done better. You know, you've been into it a lot more. It's just that kind of thing. But how they build up the idea of Beowulf as well was wonderful, because their Beowulf is terrific. He's a much quiet. He's not a kind of. He's a quiet figure. There are other characters around him who are more boisterous, but he's very watchful, and he's the person who's thinking through everything. And he's a character who will lead, but he can also see when someone's got a better idea than he has, and he can also see someone who's better than him at certain things, so he will let them do their thing. It's a terrific interpretation of Beowulf, but also means when he has to be the leader and go against the queen and end up getting poisoned for that, he will be the leader and he will kill her. And at the end, he has to go against the king and he's already been poisoned and he already knows he's going to die. There's no way he's going to survive this. Even if he survives the fight, which he does, he will die through the poison. But he still does his job, and it's a really wonderful performance. And all the people around him they're all terrific, because the Vikings have been chosen so well that you know that each character has specific things to them. They don't have much time to tell you what they are, but they're all different, and you always know who's who, you always know who can do what. So when anyone dies, it makes an impact. So it's not like something like Black Hawk Down where they've all look the same, so when people die you think, everyone makes an impact because you know who they are. I mean, it's still a flawed film. I mean, Banderas is quite decent in it, but he didn't have much of a part. He's playing a part that, again, feels like it's been cut down a little bit. He does what he does well, but you feel there's more to his part that isn't there. And that's a shame, because the scenes he's in are all good. It's just that there are some A to B's there that you feel could have been a bit more explained. So the funny thing is, the interesting thing of having a Muslim as a main character in a big action movie, and that's terrific. But then they actually cut him down a bit, and it's like you wanted more of him. You wanted more of what he was doing, so you could so there was some context to what he was doing. You don't quite get that with him. And again, it was one of those flaws in the film. But the film's still strong enough with all of these flaws in it. What's good in it, like the Beowulf, the characters, the way McTiernan directs all these action scenes and does the atmosphere, and there's a lot of beautiful stuff in it all the way through. It's like he seems very inspired in this film to do all these shots that really lead to other shots that are real masterclass stuff of filmmaking that survive the fact that the film was butchered and survived. I mean, so even though the film wasn't well received, I saw it in the cinema. I still loved it. It was a beautifully made film. I actually saw it with Ravenous, another butchered film that's beautiful in its own way as well, which I'll do later on too. So it's definitely one to see. It's really well made, and even if you can go beyond the flaws of the film, it's something you have to enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back soon with some more beautiful disasters.